Alright, welcome back to Soul Spark Tarot. I'm your host, Mr. Renew, and today we got 25 Days of Christmas coming at you. A little bit of sage for you. Alright. Day number 8. Let's get started. So it's a little bit later in the day. I hope y'all don't mind, but I get to the messages when I feel like I should, and then I just do my thing with them as we go about our days. And you get the message when you're supposed to get it, but I'm sending it when I'm supposed to send it. So get it while you get it. Get it when you can. Let's make sure everything is cool. So, what is the energy of the month? Well, the energy of the month is us recalling our energy, but now the energy is here. So we're welcoming in that energy, talking to it, giving it new roles, understanding how to integrate it, creating plans, practicing stuff, trying new things, failing at stuff, seeing things don't work, finding new inspiration, all coming from because I'm trying, I'm putting in effort, but I'm not just trying, I'm actually doing stuff, making a list and I'm checking it off and I'm doing it twice kind of vibes. I have to make sure I know what's good for me, what's bad for me. I have to take in some of these old roles that I used to play, and then I need to take off that mask. And then when I take off that mask, I get to realize that I got a chance where I can actually see who's playing that character. And then I can recast that old movie, and then I can use this energy that I finally got a chance to call back and actually welcome back into my world, and then give it a brand new role. Something that will help it improve. Something that will be like me giving a person a leg up, but it's myself. It's an old version of me. It's the understanding of, dang, some things were just so embarrassing. I can't believe I got through it. But then other things are like, well, that was easy. And, other people said it was hard. Whatever side of the spectrum you're going to claim yourself to be, you have to still realize what side of the spectrum you actually are on. This is empirical data versus theoretical. This is what we think can happen. This is what is possible. And guess what? We can make a theory about it or a hypothesis. We can put it together. And that's the idea. Once you can recall your energy and you got your energy back, you can recast it into a brand new point of view, because guess what? It's limited. And because it's limited, then you have to treat it as if it's something as a finite resource. So utilize the energy as best you can, and that best you can is coming in small spurts. It's just little boosts. This is what a lot of people in the manifestation community calls inspired action. When you have inspiration, for me, it's internal inspiration. But when you have inspiration, you can take action. You'll be way more productive within that. And if you can sustain that, then you can get into that zone and get a lot of things done. Most of the time, we can't do that. We stress about it. So what do? We put ourselves in a position to where we stress out. And as we stress out, I wanted to say something different, but it slipped my mind. As we stress out, we realize which things are influencing us, which things are impacting us, what areas we're being drained in, and essentially it's just where we're putting our attention upon. It's up to us to see it, though. So we choose to do things to remain, humble within our own self, humble within our own practice, yet we try to learn. And it's hard to do both. So here we are looking at understanding how to try. This is what we're doing. We're learning how to try new things. We're learning about expansion. And so if this was a job, to expand your knowledge about the job means to be cross-departmental. That means you can do cashiering and you can, let's say, be a stocker in the back and unload a truck. Let's say you can, be a chef cooking some food, or you can go out there and you can go serve some food. You can go mix some concrete, or you can go over there and you can, draw up a blueprint for a brand new wall or something. It is really about seeing the different sides of one thing. And this is the idea of when you're recasting for your old movie, yet you're finding a new job for those old actors, those old energies. So when I say you're recasting for the old movie, when they recast the show and everybody liked the show, but they recast it because of budget or something, and then they get new characters and it's just not the same and it sucks, and then eventually the show gets canceled. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to create that same situation within us upon things that used to bring us trauma. So as those things start to get canceled, because again, it just doesn't have the energetic luster as it once did with those high value actors. Again, we're on a smaller budget than even before. So now, since we're on a smaller budget, it just doesn't have the same bang for its buck. And, a lot of people don't tune in. They don't like it. They want the old stuff back. We don't got the money for it. You know what? It gets canceled. That's the idea. We're trying to cancel out some of these old thoughts from ourselves, but really it's not just us, because we got to realize that the self is a multitude. It's a multitude, but it's not in a way that you think. The multitude self is not you. It's what you can step on. It's the mask. We can wear different masks, which is the idea of the concept of multitude. The fact that we can change. But when we're changing, we got to realize how that recipe is occurring. I can make chicken Alfredo pasta the same exact way and change one thing, the noodles or the pasta, and guess what? I got so many variations, but it's still one thing. It's really a combination of two things, two one things. But I digress. We can do penne, we can do spaghetti, we can do angel hair, we can do fettuccine, we can do linguine, we can do a lot of different types of pastas, still chicken Alfredo. Same exact sauce. Oh, I can throw some broccoli in over here. Oh, I can throw some broccoli and some baked chicken. Oh, some broccoli and some breaded chicken. Because I can still have the same foundation, again, it's the same roles for that memory of the past that used to bring you drama. But now I'm not putting the same efforts. Oh yeah, I'm just going to make one giant pot. I'm going to make another giant pot. And now I'm dividing it up. Now I'm meal prepping. And now instead of making a bunch of dishes, I'm making a bunch of micro dishes or micro changes. And guess what? Sometimes you want it, sometimes you don't. Eventually, after eating the same thing for like a week, you're probably like, yeah, this is canceled. I'm done. I'm over this. So guess what? Then you do something new. And that's the idea. I want us to get used to being able to do new things, because of the fact that we can do new things. We're always able to do new things, but we always choose with our free will to do the things that we've done already, we've done before. To do the things that we've done before. That's crazy that we choose that when we got freedom to not. We choose addictions. We choose toxic relationships. We choose egotistical patterns. It's choices. You have to identify when you decided that that was okay. When did you make that choice? This is the importance of receiving your energy when it actually comes back. And then the idea is you need to have a vessel that is allowed to flow. But flow varies from element to element. For an earth sign, flow comes in routine. For a water sign, flow comes from second to second. So let's look at it on a scale of time since we know it. Earth signs will be like the whole 24-hour period of a day. I need the whole day to see a change. Just like you work out today, I won't really feel the change until the next day, kind of thing. I won't see the change, but I'll feel the change. It takes a while. But it's a physical change, we all know it, and it might be sustained lessons involved or slow movie lessons. Again, I'm sore for a long time. That's it. Then you get into the fire, which, again, that's a fast-moving, heavy object. A fast-moving, heavy object. And so that feels like mud, like a mudslide. But the mudslide itself is dancing. Again, so it's like a big, graceful person. Something big that's heavy, again, but it's majestic, it's graceful, it flows like water would in all different directions. It's just like that fast person on the field juking out everybody, but again, they're big. So the idea behind the fire energy is that it's pretty much an immovable force that is mobile. You can't stop fire, very easily. That's what the idea of it consuming things is. Moving on to air, it's lighter, just like fire, but it's light. This comes in all different directions and layers. So with air, you got to understand the layered aspect because it never stops. It never stops. It just constantly transforms or decelerates. But in that deceleration, it is altering different spaces. So when you're using your air energy, you have to see the different spaces around you. And then finally with the water, you get to the idea that these things are shifting and moving. It's a heavy thing, shifting and moving, not all over the place, but then within a contained space, which means that it can change the containment of how it is receiving the information that it's receiving. Again, the information that it's receiving is telling it what it is receiving in and of itself. This is called influence upon the mood. In other words, my shifting mood like a crab on a wave or a boat. I'm over here, which means I'm not over there. If I'm happy, that means I'm not everything else. The point of this is to understand that we were at different states when we were making decisions that influence us now when we made them before. And because we made them in the past, I got to pull some cards for y'all. I'm sorry I'm just talking it, but when you pull from the energy of the past, you got to realize who and what they actually are. Exactly. All of these different things that you have from the past that's coming back to you, you're bringing the higher far energy. You're calling structure. You're bringing attention to the details. You're organizing. You're bringing it into a traditional understanding. Here's an old passion that I had back in the day. I really, really love doing this exercise in this kind of class. So guess what? I don't know if I can do that anymore, so I'll try it, but I know I'm not at the position to where I can, so how do I include it? Oh, I do something else that I can do. Because I don't know, I can just post it up as a goal. That's an old passion of mine that I used to do all the time. But because I haven't done it in a while, that was the change, I can now start to see what it feels like to have this, again, 10 of cups, like emotions, one of the happiest feelings, right? But I'm calling it back into a new version of me. I might not be that happy anymore. So how do I receive energy of like the old? An easy way to understand this and get this is if I go to like in a place where there's children. When you go to a place around children and you can see their behavior, you notice things in children that are just absolutely childlike. And so the more you're around children, let's say you're a teacher or a paraprofessional or a school psychologist or, a hearing and aid specialist or, you're cafeteria manager, whatever you are, you notice tendencies of different grade levels. And the idea is those grade levels present things the same way, but because they're at different levels, it's different. But it's the same. But it's different. But it's the same. 2 plus addition is the same across all grade levels. But it's different at all grade levels. But it's the same at all levels. That is this 10 of cups or 10 of potions energy coming back to you, needing structure, needing to be, you need to call for a whole new cast. So this is casting calls for the old show that you want to get canceled, but then over here, it's also casting call for the new series that you're trying to put on. So you're calling out all the old energies and you want to recast them. Hey, we got to shuffle some things up. We need to do different things. We got to take you, put you on this show, take you, put you on that show. We got a new show coming, so you three come with me, and then we got to reorganize the energies of the past. Again, I keep saying it, but recast the energy that is coming back to you. Practice using that energy as it comes back. Get into routines that you can sustain for a couple of years. And the more you feel and see it in your mind, let me rephrase that. The more your mind can cause a feeling, the better. The more your mind can cause sensations in your body due to images and videos and movies that are playing in your head, those are the things that we're talking about. Those feelings that can be generated from those images are these emotions that you can recast through that movie that you visualizing. Visualize the change so you can see in the dark. You can produce anything from your own light. You're nimble. Cats can see in the dark. So when they got darkness and a little bit of light, game over. So navigate the dark energies or the unknown energies by bringing them to the light and literally taking them line by line, day by day, step by step, because there's nothing to do. So the idea is try to tell that part of you, that part of your brain that doesn't want to really give up its spot, that doesn't really want to see the show get canceled, that actor who doesn't want to be recast into a different role, go talk to them and say, hey buddy, at the end of the day, you either going to follow suit or you're going to ship the fuck out and we'll replace you. Like, that's the idea. Sometimes you just gotta be direct because you're the bitch sometimes in other people's story. It might be good for you or bad for you, whatever the cause. You're living your life. You're just some extra body in somebody else's film. We're all got our own movies happening. But when you was doing your happening on your bad day, talking and arguing with your wife or something, on the phone, and you just didn't realize you cut a dude off. The dude who got cut off, they might be in a whole different state. They're like, oh, look at this dude trying to cut me off. And you see, kids, this is exactly why you stay alert, you stay focused, and you do all the things you need to do. What I'm saying is that both of you can see different things from your own point of view. You needed to address that phone call, and you needed to teach that lesson by being alert. Something told you stay alert. But when we're seeing it, these are just two separate movies happening. Somebody trying to get on, reconcile and, find peace in their relationship. Another one just trying to get home with the kids from the baseball game. Two things happening at once. And guess what? We come to a space that allows us to interact. And we can choose how to interact based upon the role that we take. You could have easily said, that's an asshole. Dare he cut me off on his fucking phone, blah, blah, blah. But what do you know? That dude could be trying to save his marriage or something. He might be on the phone with his wife and she's pregnant or something. Like, you have no idea what that person would have been on the phone. So guess what? If they swerve, people make fucking mistakes. It's not like they're like drunk out there, and they're clearly making mistake after mistake after mistake. No, you're taking on the point of view of, if I was in that movie, would I want somebody to give me an extra take or two? Can I get a couple of practice runs? I'm sorry. That was funny as hell. I laughed. I got to get serious. Let me try again. Let me try again. Like, we're not going to be as harsh as we normally are upon ourselves if we see ourselves giving grace to another. So if we choose to take on that role as if we are the other, then guess what? We can provide grace to ourselves as we're welcoming in our old version of ourselves, and they'll probably be more willing to recast. In other words, that addiction that you've had for so long, you probably can get over a little bit easier if it feels like it has support. Again, it doesn't want its movie to end. Nobody does. I'm sure you don't want to just get fired from your job. So guess what? Sometimes things just are hard to let go of. And because they're hard to let go of, you got to understand that the energy that you've been calling back, the energy that people been trying to siphon off of you and take from you, all of those things, they just go away when you start to call that energy back by identifying it. So identify your areas, then go in and see how you can organize them. Recast for a new movie, recast for an old movie. 2 movies at once. You gotta see that. The old movie you expected to cancel. How do you prepare to leave for a job? How do you prepare to move from a house? How do you prepare to move from this classroom? How do you prepare to change department? How do you prepare for change? But it's change that you called for. So you have all the answers. You just got to go in there and stop being afraid to go see it. What do you see? The energy that came out yesterday, one half of it, which is the understanding of being in those emotions. As you're directing your emotions externally, meaning you're doing things to keep your mood in check, you're realizing that you're doing things to show that old energy, that old actor, how to behave in the new film. You're doing a training sequel with yourself by how you feel. So the feelings that are coming back, you're trying new things. You're saying, I've done this old thing in the past, and I had a different feeling about it. Now I'm in the new future, and I want that old feeling, but I don't have the old body. What do? You change how you feel about it. You can't change your body. It takes long. It's the earthly side. You can change the water, though. It's inside that body, the container. So guess what? You can alter in all different ways like I showed earlier. But because we're altering by not giving up parts of ourselves, we're altering by accepting more parts of ourselves. So we're adding on the inside, which is telling us how do we see ourselves on the outside. Doesn't matter. We're always going to be viewed emotionally. So the idea is, how do you determine how the household goes? Happy wife, happy life kind of vibe. So if the mom is happy, everybody else is happy, right? That's because all of the mom's emotions, all 10 cups, are getting utilized, getting the attention. They're being fulfilled, even if it's just a little bit. But the idea is the little bit is what is allowing all of this balance to be okay. Be submerged in your own emotions as you're calling in more emotions. Why is that okay? It's because you're identifying what's going inside of this soup. What is going inside this bowl? What kind of cereal you're about to eat? That you're deciding what's going into your body. You're deciding how this energy that's entering your body is going to be used. You can see it now because you got the practice, but because you got the practice and you got the vision, you now need to recast. This is the director, man. That's your attention, man. See what you can do to change that. It's the number 5 card. See what you can do to change it. Was at the bottom. Oh, creative changes. You got to be creative. So this says you got to step into a combination of your energies. You need your earth, you need your fire, you need your water. Those 3 things are what you're going to not focus on. Those things need to be shut down. Cut off all 3 of those light switches. The energy for earth, that is the only one that's going to be on. So what that means is get you a physical medium to where you can let out energy. Again, it can be something old. It doesn't matter if your body don't move the same way. Move your body in that position of old so you can start to recall that energy. And then when the energy gets here, say, all right, I got a new job for you. What I'm saying is, I got goals. Here's a goal of mine. Go to get back into doing daily yoga. I was doing at one point 9 hours of yoga a week, like taking hour-long classes. So I was doubling up some days. I was a lot, and I was riding like 70 miles a week on a bike. It was crazy. Like, I was working out so much, and then I was taking 2 cycling classes on top of that. Like, and I was doing personal training. Like, I did so much at one time, and I was completely vegan. Just ate fruit and nuts pretty damn much. You know, I had like power food is what we called it. But I mean, pretty much, I was just juicing, eating fruit, working the fuck out. And I needed that because I needed to have a lot of clean energy in my vessel, which means I needed to be able to allow the energies to flow. But I understood that there were layers to that flow. And so as I was removing the energies from within me, again, being balanced with myself, with all the outlets that I use to cultivate energy through, my energy centers, I realized that each one of them had their own layers behind it. So even though I was doing so much of that detoxing, because that's essentially what it was at that point in my life, relative to my whole life, I still realized that there was layers to it, which is why I carried fears of returning back to that state. Again, it was the healthiest that I was. One of the healthiest times. But guess what? It was based upon a different sensation that got me to that point. So now, because I'm not physically at that point, but I want to be there energetically, I have to give myself the understanding of why. Then once I have that why, then I can realize, why does it need this amount of time versus not? Why does it need to happen in this amount of time? I need 30 minutes, but I can't take more than an hour. But it's only going to take me 30 minutes. Oh, damn, I've done this for at least 2 years. I probably should at least give myself at least 2 years to be completely back to neutral. The layers. You have to be open to the idea, because once you know that some things take longer than others, you won't put as much energy into it. Then you can put energy into other things, because guess what? You had to recast. I'm sorry, I got to downgrade. We used to have 6 employees for the smoke shop. Now we got to go down to 2 employees for the smoke shop. We want to keep y'all all on board, so we got to figure out a new job for you guys for 4 people. What the fuck are we going to do? Oh, let's start delivering. So we got somebody packaging, we got somebody selling, we got somebody taking orders, and then somebody delivering. Boom. Perfect. 4 different jobs, still inside the shop. Now we're taking the shop from being inside the shop only to outside the shop too. We got a whole little system. We just changed the rules. Maybe had to spend a little bit of money, sunk cost. But guess what? Same pays for everybody. Still got your job. And guess what? You've been recast into a new role. That is the same thing that we got to do. So, I think I've said that enough. Let us get a final message. Final message. So, this is a crazy combination here. These are all majors, so there's nothing we can do. It's only things that we can, jump onto or not. Are you going to use this coupon at the store or not? Like, that's it. Oh, you missed the coupon, the flash sale? Oh, well, sorry, you missed the flash sale. That's it. So, that's what this energy is. It's something we just got to, accept. And it seems like the devil in the middle is throwing me off because of the Fool. So it's like the energy that's being called back into you and the new role that you're trying to create and birth for it, the new role that you're trying to create, it's being blocked by not, it's like you don't, it's not, sorry. What I'm saying is, it's not what you think it is. It's not a negative thing that is causing what you want to not manifest. It's a positive thing. It's a creation thing. So instead of realizing your recipe isn't very good, you're realizing that it just needs to be tweaked. Something about it is off for the target population. So what this is saying is the things that you've been creating, they haven't came up into fruition because they haven't had the right medium. And I'm getting the right medium because this devil isn't trying to block it. Because look, this is how the cards will lay, right? If they're upright. Look, you're walking away from the devil. But this is trying to show us what? Boom, we're walking towards it. So because it's like we're walking towards it, I'm hearing self-sabotage. It seems like we're walking towards the devil only because we're not creating in the right manner. So the energy that you have, we're not getting enough ratings for the TV show because you got the wrong actors playing the wrong characters on the wrong shows. You got to recast. I'm getting sick of hearing me say it too. Recast. So the idea is recast or change how you're creating whatever you're creating with the energy that you're calling back. So again, this is day number 8. Day number 8. This is telling us all about wealth and creation with other people and connections and other people's money, banks and loans and grants. But we're talking about energy. So my thing, I believe, is you got to get the energetic signature of the mental rep. Take breaks throughout the day, seeing what it feels like to just be done. So imagine you trying to retire. You can't just be retired. You gotta be doing stuff while retired. So imagine trying to get yourself to feel like it would feel like when you don't have any obligation but being retired. So as a retired person, what are your obligations? Go and identify the things that you don't know. Then you can put organization on it through the layers. The layers of what you might be worried about or have anxiety about. Once you just identify them, you'll realize that they're not very scary. Oh, they just were scary because you didn't know what was behind the curtain. But all of that big giant noise was a little puppy. All of that big giant scariness was just a puppy. Scariness on this new journey. You're going to the new journey, but you're scared. You're seeing all of these things, but guess what? These things are not real. It's not a new journey. It's something you've already created. You've already been there, done that. So it's like, oh man, what do I do since I'm here again? Stop trying to do new stuff. Just do the old, but because you're older, because you're more wise, because you're more experienced, because you're not brand new to this shit, it's going to come out more mature, more creative. All the things that you think it should have been, it's going to be seen as that now. So you don't need to stop. You don't need to stop. You don't need to continue to think about the dangers or the scary parts. Again, you got identification of the layers. What parts would actually make you afraid? You know it. Oh, so guess what? You've already created avenues and prepared for things to occur to where you are at the highest maturity of your own internal creations. You know how to change your moods. Guess what? That means you know how to direct the moods inside of you into the right spot. You're like inside out, but you're evaluating all emotions the same way. So it's like if there was a new emotion called like neutral. What if the cores, the memories themselves had a representative and they determined if it was core, just generic, or, background? That's the idea of you being that conscious being, being able to go back through the layers and create not based upon understanding that you have experience, dealing with being new and handling things unknown, obsessions, addictions, self-sabotage. Now you created a situation to where it'll be more sustainable because guess what? You're not new and you've overcome these things because you've already identified it. You know you shouldn't drink oat milk if it's going to make you mucusy and, inflame you. Don't eat the peanuts if you're breaking out in hives. If you eating pizza and you got heartburn, stop it. It's talking to you. But again, it's up to you on what you want to create. So, yeah, the energy that's coming on, you got to focus them up because they're ready to put in work on some new stuff, some advanced stuff, some real, good stuff for the future, some futuristic changes. Exactly. Bring the tower moment on the idea of things that you're doing are new. They're not. You are a seasoned veteran, even if it's in a new season. It's old stuff in a new way. So go make it happen. You can do it. See you tomorrow. 25 days of Christmas. I'm Mr. Renew. This is Soul Spark Tarot. Peace.